Scenes.
Scenes. Elongated, mate.
Enunciation, yes.
Pronunciation. Ooh, me. How you doing, Graham?
I'm good, June. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you very much for asking.
Love it.
It's good to be back.
It is indeed. We've not done this in a while.
We've not done this in a while, no.
We've had a backlog.
We've had a backlog and we've been cutting through it, and not a lot's been happening.
True. Bit of a quiet time.
Dune was like the beat on the heart monitor, so we're like, oh, gotta get in there and get that involved, because that was like, that's Dune.
That's it.
But yeah, I mean, we'd rather work through the backlog and make sure that you guys aren't getting inundated with too much all at once. So
yeah, because we know we're a lot.
We are a lot, yeah. That's a personal message to our editor.
Yes.
Rebecca, we are a lot,
yeah.
and we know. But yeah, I mean, we were kicking about the day, and we just thought we'd do a little, like, a natter.
Just see what's happening.
Yeah, just see what's going on, see the funky flows. This is one of those free flips. We've done one before, we'll do another one, and I will warn you, we will do one again.
Oh, damn. Okay.
That's a credible threat of audio violence.
Jesus Christ.
We have recorded before, and we will record again.
Prepare your ears.
Oh, man. So, let's ramble. I said I have got a thing to start us off.
Oh, just to get the ball rolling.
Just to get the ball rolling. Well, unless you've got to say first, you know, we're both good.
So. I'm ready just to see what you come up with.
I was gonna say these things will probably end up being like Ewan gears up a bunch of little topics, and then I throw them at Graham, and he'll like tennis it back at me. And we'll just see where the opinions go. But
verbal ping pong.
This one's probably going to be like a one and done opinion.
Oh man.
Yes,
and no answers.
It'll date the episode slightly, but I'm just curious to get your opinion on these.
Okay.
Just today/yesterday,
yes, they
announced, or at least they showed off oh my fucking god.
Oh my.
Have you just seen that notification?
News incoming.
The whole thing's just been shanghaied.
Oh my.
Fucking Christ, bro.
Yo, Sony tried. Do you know what I'm saying?
What did they try?
Sony tried. Sony have concept art of Tom Holland fighting Ezekiel Sims and Madam Web.
I can't.
Because her web connects us all.
Bro, did you know that her web connects us all?
Her web connects us all.
I like that, we've kind of gave up on, she was in the Amazon researching spiders with my mum right before she died, because that wasn't in the actual movie. But, like, do you know what was in the poster? Her web connects us all.
Her web connects us all.
I think that speaks to us a wee bit.
Definitely.
Do you know what? Let's actually start there before I show you stuff. We haven't actually really spoken about Madam Web.
That's because there's not a whole lot to say.
It's not really a lot to say, is there? We did like a whole episode on like Secret Invasion, and like we talked about like Thor and stuff that we just didn't like. But Madam Web was it was just too much.
I mean, I guess.
But like,
I don't know. Like, I don't think it was as bad as I thought it was going to be going into it.
Well, yeah, I think we agreed on that. Because although I still thought it was terrible.
Yeah,
it was still like bad. It was like obnoxiously bad. Do you think it was better or worse than Morbius? You said you think it was worse than Morbius.
Because Morbius is great, man.
Morbius, that's great. See, I actually thought, see, in concrete movie making terms, I did think initially it was better than Morbius, but I watched some videos about it, and I'm like, God, like, no, actually, it just isn't it. It's just like one of those movies that's like, how does this exist?
Bro, there you go.
So yeah, I mean, I guess there's not much to say. But on the record,
I like that Ezekiel walked about with his feet out the whole time.
That's true, very accurate to the comic.
Big fan of that.
He's weird, like suit, absolutely not for the comics.
Yep.
It's just like a guy in a suit, like a zoot suit in the comics.
I guess we just need a suit, aye.
Do we?
No.
Because the movie fucking thought as much when they were like, bro, all these famous Spider-Man characters, they're just going to be in a suit and like in dreams.
Just a little bit.
Except Ezekiel Sims, who will not be wearing a famous suit. He'll be wearing this fucking bizarre shit.
Exactly.
Which, according to that concept art, is just how he's always looked. Like, they made this design, they're like, banging, we've got it, bro.
That's it.
Nothing wrong with that. Keep that on the back burner.
Yo.
I can't believe that they had concept art of Ezekiel Sims from Sony's Madam Web fighting Sony's Tom Holland Spider-Man.
There you go.
I can't believe he was in the Amazon with my mum researching spiders right before she died.
Absolutely. Try to find the spider gods.
Yeah.
And stuff.
The spider gods, bro. Like, see, this is the thing. I can't talk about this like I talked about Secret Invasion, because Secret Invasion was like offensively bad.
Right.
Like, that made me angry because it was like, I know what these characters are and what they could do, and I know what the story is. This one was a bit like, what are they going to fucking do with Madam Web? And they just did it.
They actually did what you thought they were
They just like did it. You know, I agree with the reviews. Dakota Johnson gave the campiest performance ever. It was
Actually,
great.
fabulous.
Absolutely incredible.
We
just
love her.
Insane.
She better be Emma Frost now.
Insane. She probably could be, since she lost Vanessa
I don't
Kirby.
think she wants to ever do anything ever again.
It's true. Would you see how Kirsten Stewart was a bit like, I don't think I ever wanted to do a Marvel movie because it just sounds like a fucking hell nightmare. And then immediately she's like, but if Greta Gerwig was doing one, and I'm like, all right, okay.
It does sound like a hell
Greta
nightmare,
Gerwig's
to be fair.
fucking... What would Greta Gerwig do?
I don't know.
She's got a storied history. I want to see what Chronicles of Narnia looks like, because like, that's obviously a whole thing. It's not like Little Women or Barbie. Like,
Aye, true.
I'm
interested to see how it goes.
I don't know if I'll watch it per se. I'm not really into Chronicles of Narnia.
I don't know if she'll do it like in book order.
She is apparently.
She is
I
in book
believe
order.
like season 1 is just straight up the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Okay, pretty bog.
And
Well, I
I'm
don't know
like,
if that is it the first book.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
The series is called The Chronicles of Narnia.
Aye.
See, the old movies, they did it right as well.
Aye.
It was the Lion. It's not the first chronologically,
Aye.
but it was like the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Because I remember I read a bit of a book. I don't know if it's the first one in, because it's like two kids go to like obviously Narnia, but it's like all the kingdoms like frozen in stone or something.
Oh, I think it's not the first book.
But that might be chronologically the first book.
No, because the chronological first book's literally about how Narnia get made.
Okay, I don't know that now.
And it's like weird. It's somehow weird. It just gets weird in Jesus,
Right.
Because Aslan is Jesus.
Pog, fine.
Don't know if you knew that.
Let's go. C.S. Lewis, a classic Christian writer, I
remember.
guess.
I don't know if the second book's just called Prince Caspian. The second movie was called it, and it was about the second book.
Okay.
And the third book's The Voyage of the Dawn Treader.
Dawn Treader.
And then after that, I don't know, like the Iron Seat or something. And
I remember Neil Gaiman saying that title, and it sounds amazing when he says it.
What, the title?
The Voyage of the Dawn Treader.
The Voyage of the Dawn Treader.
Fantastic when he says it.
I always used to think it was Prince Don Treader, but it never sounded right to me.
Dawn Treader, that's how the French say it.
Oh, the Don Treader. Like, okay, that's how the French say it. Le Voyage de Don Treader. My God. Yeah, I mean, I'll see how it goes. You know, I mean, she can work with bigger scale stuff. This is like a Netflix show, so
Aye.
maybe like Funny Money. I've not watched any
Maybe.
Netflix stuff like that recently. Like, what's Skull and Bone?
Is a thing.
I was going to say Three Body Problem. We know somebody who's credited on that.
We do.
We know a visual artist on that. Good job, Hayley. Have you watched it? Have you looked at that at all?
Nah, Nat wants to watch it, but she wants to read the book first.
Okay, well, that was fair.
And I'm like, yo, fine.
I'm one of those ones where I'm like,
Okay.
It's a bit like what do you call it? I mean, it's honestly a bit like how X-Men's been,
Right.
where I kind of don't want to read or know anything about it.
Until it's done, at least.
Yeah.
Season 1.
Or like until like, you know, well, yeah.
Well, I'd say it's much harder there, because if you were to read the X-Men that the show is
I
based
suppose
on,
it's so vehemently
it's like
different.
a 20-year
And based on so
saga.
much different continuities as well.
And there's a lot happening in that.
I think it's because I basically don't want anything to colour my opinion. But then I
Right.
suppose it'd be weird because then I would read the original and then, or like if I watched the Three Body Problem, then read the book, I'd be like, oh man, this was like the show. So technically that is colouring my opinion. But I think
that's always the thing with it.
Although I think it's because my brain knows that's not the original. Like if you tell
Right.
me something's not the original and it's an
Yeah.
adaptation and then
Aye.
you watch it and then go back to the original, I think I can put the gap. Do you know what I mean?
A little bit.
Maybe not like everybody can do that. I think it's just easier for me to understand, I guess.
Right.
I might need to look for some examples of that, to be fair. I just know with X-Men, as you say, it is different anyway, so it's harder to say. But like, you know, we watched the Inferno episode was just recently for us, and I was a bit like, oh, I thought it was really good, and then you were a bit like, well, compared to actual Inferno.
Aye.
And I'm like, now I feel like I want to go back and read Inferno and be like, oh, that's how that was done. But I'm naturally just more.
It's a bit like how they've adapted the Phoenix saga and like all the movies, where they like condense it all down.
It was just like
instead
too
of
quick.
like, aye, basically, because Inferno's like it grows from like when Jean dies,
Yeah.
and then it continues all the way
You
through.
could even answer that question in X-Men, which I guess was the point, obviously.
Mm.
Although, again, we were talking about this earlier, it's kind of a medium thing as well because, you know, 97's like that 90s cartoon, and I said to you, it feels like a 90s cartoon.
Aye, for good and bad.
For good and bad, yeah. Yeah, okay, no, I guess that is a bit of a 6.5 a dozen one. I think I mean more just like Three Body Problem is maybe good. I was talking about, what's that one that get cancelled? Shadow and Bone?
Right, yeah.
I want
Mortal
like
Instruments, I think.
well, that was a movie, mind.
Right.
No, oh, that was BBC. They did the shitty movie, then the BBC did the show.
Is it the Shadowhunter Chronicles, something like that?
Maybe something like that as well, to be fair.
I don't know.
Netflix have a lot of just shit,
Aye, it's loads of like book adaptation TV things.
quite literally. For
Lot going
again,
on.
for better or for worse.
Yes.
Like, so I guess I want to kind of see how does Chronicles of Narnia stack up to that, because Chronicles of Narnia is like it's a fantasy adventure.
Bit of a pillar of fiction, a wee bit.
It's very like, what is that? It's weird. It's like one of those like subtle heroes.
It's like kids read Harry Potter or that, probably.
I mean, like they could read Chronicles of Narnia and Harry Potter. I hope they wouldn't read Harry Potter because like Harry Potter's like no good, but that's like a thing. I've got many issues with that. But like, God, you know, when you said seminal, that is a really weird way to look at it, because I've never, I think I did just say, obviously, like, it's an underlying one. I feel like if you list it, you will see like things like Harry Potter first. Chronicles of Narnia will be like 7th or 8th on the list, do you know what I mean?
It'd be like, what's that kid spy one? Alex Rider, I don't know.
Alex Rider,
Something like that.
Bro, nobody's saying that's seminal, but
Percy
I fucking have
Jackson.
like 2 books over there. Percy Jackson would probably be up there, actually.
Up there, aye.
That's an adaptation that's got a lot to talk about, because the Disney Plus show just finished, and
there you go.
I've heard it's a lot of like, it really diverts from the books in a lot of ways, more and more, sometimes for the worse, but also Rick Riordan, like, I think it's Rick Riordan, the writer of Percy Jackson, was the guy writing that show. He's like, yeah, this is how I want to do it. So you're a bit like,
fair. He's like, oh, change it to how I want it now.
If anybody's got the authority to write about it, I guess it's him.
Makes sense. And Edge is in it, so Pog.
Edge is in it, Edge is in it. I kind of forgot really the point anyway. I mean, I prattled on enough. I said what I was going to say. I actually kind of forgot how we got along to here, but I guess keep it out for Chronicles of Narnia. Oh, that was like Greta Gerwig, Kristen Stewart.
What would she do?
She's Madam Web.
Madam Web. Her web connects us all.
Bro, her web does connect us all, actually. That is true. I mean, that is all I had to say about it anyway. That was just a touch on
Madam Web, man, because it was a film that released this year.
It is like, we're going to have to acknowledge that next, like, when we do our like 2024 retrospective.
Oh, man.
We're going to have to acknowledge that, which is scary.
It's terrifying. Right,
now what I was going to show you at the start of this is completely unrelated to anything we've talked about all day.
Okay, I'm scared.
Just the other day, Lego revealed the first 2 Despicable Me 4 sets.
Oh my god.
Now, there's sort of 2, and I want you to look at this one, and this guy's like, oh, it's...
Okay, Gru's house.
That's the house, aye.
Yeah.
Sort of got like, I mean, they're a bit weird and long, I guess that's plot of the movie.
Right, yeah.
There's just minifigures, you know, Gru, a bit bloody, sorry, it's not the best quality image of it.
That's alright.
However, they also revealed this one.
Oh, it's like a brickhead boy.
It's like a big, giant, standing Steve Carell figure.
Yes.
Look
It's
at that face.
long nose.
Look at that face.
That face is the face that's up to some mischief.
He is being a bit despicable.
Absolutely.
I can't believe that they're doing a Despicable Me 4.
Why not?
I mean, I can, I guess, because
Illumination make all the money.
But I think there's a lot of franchises that sort of keep coming back, and you're a bit like, oh man, we're going like Kung Fu Panda 4 just came out.
But that's the end.
I mean, is it though?
Yeah.
Kung Fu Panda 3, I thought it was like the end.
No, I think they said this is the last one.
I thought they said the opposite. I thought they said they had ideas for Kung Fu Panda 5 and 6.
Keep going. Bro, Jack Black's too busy.
He's doing the Minecraft movie.
He's Steve.
Did you see the picture, the alleged...
Alleged.
And this was yesterday, so it wasn't April 1st, it wasn't April 1st. The alleged picture of a tree from the Minecraft movie set.
No.
Mate, I need to find this for you.
God.
Like, the Minecraft movie is
April 2nd, which is Truth Day.
I was going to say,
because
like...
April 1st is Lie Day.
It's one of those, like, oh my god, that was actually an official Discussing Films post. Like,
dear God.
that wasn't fictional. Oh, man. I'm scared of this movie. Everything I see about it. Well, because it's a Minecraft movie, and I guess even though we've got good video game adaptations in this day and age,
true.
There is also just still bad ones, and can still just be bad ones.
True. Borderlands is a 50-50.
Borderlands is so scary, like in a different way for me. Like, I watched that trailer, and I'm like, what is going to go on in this production?
Like, what is happening?
Here we go, mate. One day ago, so yeah, literally the 2nd of the 4th, like in the middle of the day.
Oh, it looks great.
Like, it's literally like cubic, but like
actually amazing.
Real leaves.
I'm guessing there'll be some animation on top of that.
Maybe there's kind of like
make sense to me.
Sort of the way it lies on like bricks and that.
A little. Oh, that's actually sick.
It's live action, so it's just gonna be like actual Jack Black and like actual Jennifer Coolidge.
Maybe kind of wild. I don't even know how to say that.
Actual Jason Momoa. I keep forgetting he's the lead.
That's wild to me.
Fully Aquaman himself.
Bro, he's here.
Oh man,
he's working.
We actually like we've talked about this before, but I mean it dates the episode. But you know, speaking of like we've got video game adaptation. We get Fallout next week.
Fallout's a thing.
Look forward to that.
Obviously,
they did like a cast interview thing, and I believe in the interview they said like they kind of acknowledged like wider Fallout. Right. And I think they kind of basically said they want more seasons.
Bro, they're like fully referencing like the games, the first 2.
Oh, I will
like
fully.
Shady Sands is like in it.
Shady Sands is in it. Like we see a bit where the NCR are fighting the Brotherhood, which I don't know if that's a flashback or if like the NCR Brotherhood war still going on in the East, or at least as far east as the NCR could get.
Yeah.
But then this is I say the East, this is the West because it's Los Angeles. The show's set in. I'm really hesitant. There's nothing so far has made me believe that like they're going to like contradict the games.
I don't think they would.
But it just depends. I mean, they said we're basically almost feel like we're doing a Fallout 5 here, which is like okay, also do a Fallout 5 Bethesda just for the record. I want that on record.
Are they going to do it after the other shows?
Yeah.
Big
which apparently on it. Playable State.
Playable?
I saw a thing that was like, man, a Bethesda game in a playable state. They're definitely trying something new.
Oh my god.
Hey,
boom.
Although I don't know now, because like I don't know, Fallout 4 wasn't great. Fallout 76.
Fallout 4 was good.
Is a thing. Well, a lot of people hold it to be like not that great in the grand scheme. I did like it. The story was a bit pish, but like I did like it, the guys game, but then like Starfield's apparently just like the same. It's just
Fair.
like pish.
Mm.
I'm like, Elder Scrolls 6, I feel like that's going to ride by on the train of it being the 6th one a lot more than the actual quality of the game will be.
Yeah, they should not. They should get a new engine.
They definitely should. They absolutely should. And I don't know if they've announced it yet, but they absolutely need to.
Yeah, they need to fix that.
Like the updated creation engine.
I don't know how much that costs. It's a lot, probably. But they need a new one.
Unreal 5, bro. Everyone's going to Unreal 5 now.
But I don't know if it's as malleable as like they want it to be.
What, Unreal 5?
Aye.
I don't know.
Because I don't know how like mods would incorporate in that.
Oh, I suppose
and
that's
they like
one thing
are
they
big on that.
They do need to be aware of mods, aye. Did you see the trailer for Marvel 1945? Marvel, the Captain America Black Panther World War II game?
I did see this trailer, Ian. That looked good.
That looks good. I mean, if the game actually does look that good, that's one of those like Unreal 5 tech demos.
I think it will look that good.
I think it'll look close enough to that.
I don't know how it's going to play.
Yeah,
I feel like it'll be heavy. Like it just looks like it's going to play a bit like God of War.
Like God of War?
Aye.
I was like thinking that I'm like, I don't know, I could stand for like an Arkham type one.
Yeah, but like it feels like weighty. And I feel like especially Black Panther shouldn't feel that way.
Well, okay, maybe that's the contrast.
Aye.
Like maybe Captain America's like, because he's Captain America, he's going to shop and fucking punch something, bounce shields off folk, and then like you can like, or you can play as Black Panther. He's like the fucking stealth one. He's like flying about. Or is it going to be like a Spider-Man 2 situation where you could just play Zero if you want, but you will just be railroaded in certain sections, which I would be fine with, I guess.
Aye.
If there's like, it depends on how they go about it.
And they see what it comes out like and how that plays.
I know. I'm very Skydance. Like, that's wild to me. It's like a Skydance games.
Aye. I don't know how it's going to tie into like overall thoughts of like Marvel games verse thing, if there even is one. Certainly Insomniac are doing one.
Oh, Insomniac are up to something. Aye, they're up to some mischief.
If leaks are to be believed.
God, those poor leaks. I feel bad about that. I try not to look at anything, although the multiplayer one was cancelled, so I was a bit like, oh, Spider-Man 2009, Spider-Gwen. But I try not to acknowledge that. But yeah, they're obviously like up to stuff according to everything.
Yeah.
I will say, don't take this as a spoiler.
Oh my God, you're spoiling me.
It's just a generic comment. From where they leave Venom and Spider-Man 2, I don't really know how they're going to do a Lethal Protector game. I guess they know because they were blathering on it, but like
this year,
I'm kind of curious to see. That's definitely like not happening anymore.
I think so.
Although I don't know, Spider-Man 2 didn't really start getting proper market until right before it came out, so you might just get a trailer about Man C next week.
That's it.
Unless it's like, I mean, I think they were trying to have it as a solo game, but they could just make it like an expansion to 2.
Yeah.
There was a patch the other day, and for some reason, right at the start, they fucked it so you could put in like a code and just get into the dev menu, and there was a listing for it literally just said like
and stuff.
Beetle DLC.
Right.
So I'm like, I guess Beetle's going to be one of the DLCs.
Bro.
Which is like
I didn't even know there was DLCs happening.
Well, I was going to say they haven't announced it either. I kind of like expected as much. Because like the first one had like 3 like
but they had that like
DLCs.
They had that like we're doing this by the way like season pass we're doing
it. It's true. They weren't very much out the gate with that.
Aye, don't know what it is. Probably COVID.
But that's true. Aye, everything is at this point.
At least for the next couple of years.
But yeah, I mean, coming after like Avengers and like God of War, Guardians of the Galaxy, those were very much like you'd think they would have been connected, but they actually just weren't. So I don't know, like if they maybe just want to be like, right, Sony are just going to do their Spider-Man thing, so we should just leave that where it is. I'm not saying nobody else can do Spider-Man, but it's a bit like, oh, you know, if you're going to come at the king, you best not miss. Although I watched a video. I've been watching this guy on YouTube. I can't remember his name. I'm really sorry. But he's been doing retrospectives about Spider-Man games.
Right.
I can't remember if he's done any of the PS4 or 5 ones. I rewatched the Spider-Man, the movie tie-in games recently because he just released the Spider-Man 3 one.
Right.
He's also done like Shattered Dimensions and Edge of Time and like the original, like, you know, the old one.
Aye. PS1.
Yeah.
The best one.
Like literally like Monster Rock, I think it was.
Monster Rock is first one.
Well, I was going to say that. It's like
then
Electro.
Electro.
Yeah, he was like, man, that's like a sleeper hit because that's like literally just as good as the first one.
Yeah, but it's pretty good.
Plus it like makes Electro like a big deal. Like, by the way, do you know what the bad is? Fully just Electro.
Just him, bro.
Which is fair enough. I mean, he pointed out Electro is like one of those guys. Like Lightning is like a big fucking deal. Like I think they make him silly, but I think it's because if they acknowledged how serious he was, like
an issue.
He was saying like, you know, we also have a certain way of doing Spider-Man games now. Spider-Man 2 and the PS2 kind of GameCube, Xbox, like the movie tie kind of started that like open world, like mission based sort of like the way the fighting goes in that, and then like obviously Spider-Man PS4 really like, oh shit, like look, this is an amazing game.
Aye. There is another game to make though.
Yes. Well, that's the thing. He was about.
That's the point you're going to.
It's about like, he was like, these are good games, but like they could. Just because these are great doesn't mean it's all how it needs to be forever.
Aye.
Like Shattered Dimensions was also great, and that as they like this game.
Exactly.
So you could come back and do a Shattered Dimensions type game, or not just Shattered Dimensions, just another type of game at some point. And I don't know if maybe they should just let Insomniac do that because they're the Spider-Man guys, or if they should be like, right, well, Insomniac are doing that type of Marvel game. Like Wolverine, I can't remember what the leak said, but I think that's kind of semi-open world-ish. Or I don't know. Maybe
I imagine it would be like God of War, like areas.
Yeah, like I don't know if it's all that just going to do what they're doing for all the heroes, or if it's going to be like, yeah, Spider-Man's this, Wolverine's this.
Well, I don't think it would be, because if they were eventually going to do some sort of team-up amalgamation game, how all the systems would interact would be very messy.
I suppose, you can't have, I don't know if you can have an X-Men game play like how their Spider-Man games play.
Like the way Avengers was designed to have like these 4 characters or all these other characters that came on eventually, and it worked to an extent. Exactly.
I was going to say,
yeah.
Might not played Avengers for far too long.
Yeah, but like my point is that it was that way by design.
Yeah,
it wasn't like we've done Spider-Man and now we're going to have to put him with.
Yeah, we're going to have to like bend and break that to work. So I mean, it's on that probably well done. Like maybe address more. I mean, more like we're always going to do Spider-Man like A. We might do Wolverine like B, but we're not going to turn around and do Spider-Man like B. He's always going to be A.
Yeah.
So like, does another company kind of get the burden of like doing an A or a B?
Well, I guess
a B Spider-Man.
The good thing about that IP
or a C
or Marvel IP, I mean, is like you could just pick someone else.
I suppose you could. And some don't have the exclusive rights.
Like
Sony do. That's your issue.
They've got rights to Marvel.
Well, with Spider-Man. They get the exclusive Spider-Man rights.
So that makes sense for them to do that.
Although do they? Because I don't know. I need to understand how certain Spider-Man appearances work. There's been like games, like Avengers, Spider-Man was like a playable character and like a full like thing, and that was only on the PlayStation version. But there's like plenty of like Spider-Man's in Marvel Snap. Has Sony got a hand in that, or is that like, well, this is like a card game, so it doesn't really like matter?
Well, I don't know, because my understanding is Sony hold part of the IP itself, Spider-Man, outside of Marvel. Okay. So they own like the character partly.
Yeah,
they must be involved somewhere.
It's to do with how they've bought the rights.
Because they don't own, like, Universal don't own Hulk that way.
No, Universal only own Hulk. Like, they don't really have the movie rights anymore, which is why Marvel fully put them in. Universal own the theme park rights in Florida, which is, I was talking to a customer at my work about this the other day, weirdly enough, of all people. Like, it's funny to think about how, like, specifically in Florida, Universal have purchased the ability to have, okay, I can't remember California, I need to ask Rebecca. I know Florida for a fact. They have the rights to put them in their theme park there, which is why there's no Marvel Land in Florida. Because there's no point, because Captain America and Spider-Man and all that, Universal have the rights. But then you go to like France, it's like, well, fucking bon vivant, like, let's go. Whereas with Sony, they've got a really weird like web. I think they own exclusive movie rights to the character. I say exclusive, they work out deals with Marvel, but like, they're like, if you want to make a movie with Spider-Man, we're the ones to do it. Like, we have to do it. Merchandising, I don't think they own the rights to. I think Sony still own that. Oh no, sorry. I think they own the merchandising rights to
the things they make.
Yes, because there's some weird stuff to look at. There was some really weird stuff going on when the Marvel Legends for like some of this stuff was coming out.
Right.
Because like the Doc Ock figure is branded as Spider-Man, like Sony Spider-Man 2 type one, even though it's very clearly just the No Way Home Doc Ock.
Yeah.
And when they did the single releases of like
the Goblin,
of like the Spider-Man,
it was for the movies.
Yes.
But it's not.
Well, not for the movie. Sorry, Toby and Tom were both on the No Way Home card back.
Yeah.
But Andrew had to be Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Aye.
I think that's a likeness thing. I think Sony own the rights to the likenesses of characters that were explicitly created by them as well.
Right.
So like Andrew Garfield is like a Sony Spider-Man. You have to pay money, and like you can't sell an Andrew Garfield's face on a No Way Home product. Because that's Sony's character. He has to be right. That's probably why they're like, we'll make it an Amazing Spider-Man 2 one. Because then that's also a Sony product, and they probably get the lion's share of the money for that.
Yeah.
I wonder then. So I wonder if part of the deal was that Marvel and Disney would sort of join or get their hands on the marketing stuff, because they can obviously do Tom Holland, and they can throw about stuff that like they've made even their own Spider stuff, like Vulture, Mysterio. Like I don't see Sony's name on some of the boxes, or like it might be in the fine print, but it's not. Like it's not stamped by like made by like permission of Sony. So it's fascinating. Games are one of those ones where like all I know for a fact is they just seem to own the game right for major Spider-Man focused products.
Fair.
If Spider-Man's like a major character in the game or it's a game about him, they seemingly have to do that.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know if certain things have like a little bit of loopholes. Maybe mobile games are just...
He's in Ultimate Alliance 3.
Oh, he is in Ultimate Alliance 3? Fuck, that's a span in the works. Maybe they can just license them out. And do you know what, they probably... Right, do you know what? It's probably like they're easy with the licensing, because think about it this way. Spider-Man, the games are just tentpole. And like, if they can leverage it, like Ultimate Alliance 3 was probably never going to be a Sony exclusive game, so they were probably like, it's fine, you can have Spider-Man, you probably need to pay us whatever. Like Insomniac, like, we want to make a Spider-Man game, and Sony's like, great, you're one of our guys, that can be a PlayStation exclusive. And then with Avengers, it's like, oh, we want to put Spider-Man in this, and as like an extra character. And Sony's like, well, he's not essential to the game, you've already got your core cast.
Yeah.
You could just put him in, but only on our console. Like, it's probably like
Yeah.
if they can leverage it to their benefit, but they're probably willing to license it, which is why you get him in either stuff like Ultimate Alliance, stuff that also he's not super important in.
Aye.
I mean, he's probably relevant to Ultimate Alliance 3, I guess.
Yeah.
But that's like, it's like, again, Marvel Snap isn't like Spider-Man's Marvel Snap.
Ah, yeah, exactly.
So they were probably like, fine, whatever, give us like the requisite fee and you can put Spider-Man in it. It's really no big deal for us. It's probably easier. It seems to be easier to work with the Spider-Man game rights than it is to work with the Spider-Man movie rights.
Definitely.
But I think that's because we're talking in terms of like creating certain variations of characters. Like when you license Spider-Man, every Spider-Man is usually different. I mean, they tend to always be voiced by like Yuri Lowenthal now. So there's fun to be said there. But like obviously PS4 Spider-Man isn't like Ultimate Alliance 3 Spider-Man isn't named Marvel Snap Spider-Man. Whereas like Tom Holland Spider-Man is Tom Holland Spider-Man. You can't. It'd be harder. I guess Sony made it, but I think it'd be more interesting to look at how they got PS4 Spider-Man into Across the Spider-Verse, because it's like Sony, like that's Sony's character.
Yeah, but I don't think that's as hard.
Probably not, because Sony owned it.
Yeah.
But I think it's probably going to be harder for you to see like PS4 Spider-Man in Ultimate Alliance.
Aye, that wouldn't happen.
Exactly.
Yeah, aye.
Like, you wouldn't get like a skin because that's Sony Spider-Man. We own that. That's not coming anywhere near you. Which I think that's fascinating. I think you probably get boring the more you look at the Legos, but I love thinking about like rights and rights distributions and that. I love Lego, obviously, so I'm always thinking about like how Lego mandate rights. Like we had that one Horizon set, and I was talking to a customer at work the other day who likes Lego and was talking about like he got the Horizon set and his game stuff. He was like, "Oh, that was like limited run, was it? No?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I think it only was limited run." And he was like, "I think it was only about a year or so." And I was like, "Well, yeah." And I'm like, "Maybe that's like a licensing thing." To be fair, like maybe Sony were like, "You get to make this product and release it for X amount of time."
Yeah.
Whereas like some of the Disney sets hang about forever. That Disney Castle, me and Rebecca have got, that was there for like 5 years before they just were like, "We're going to retire it, so we can just release a new one immediately."
Yeah.
So maybe Disney are a bit like, if it's making you money. Plus that was a big set. Like you're talking like 300, 400 quid.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. Licensing stuff is fascinating to me. It's probably, once you start to read documents, you're like, this is the most boring fuck I've ever read.
That's good.
But the broad strokes of it are interesting because it's worth watching how they play about with it.
How it all ties together.
Like, how does Spider-Man PS4 being in the comics, do you think that just circumnavigates it because comics have completely different legal logistics?
Well, I think it helps that when he showed up, it was very much like, this is a cameo appearance, a game or verse thing.
Yeah, he is like, he's a big enough character in that, but it's also like, he's like an add-on. Could have been anybody. They could have just had a different Spider-Man in his role, to be fair, as well.
And I think, I don't know, there must have been some conversation, obviously, because it's Insomniac's character version. So they must have had to speak to them some way to get them to and then put him in the comic.
It's fascinating because there was that comic that had the render of the Spider-Cop, which was like very visibly, clearly a render for the game. And it's like, that skin wasn't in the game, but it's referenced, obviously the Spider-Cop joke for the Spider-Man PS4, and like, they're going to make a skin out of that, and they never did. But then there's this one comic that has like an image that's like a screen of different Spider people. It's from one of the Spider-Verse things. Actually, PS4 one's there. He goes, "Oh man, Spider-Cop's real." Yeah. But it's like they're all like hand drawn, and then you have this one image that's very visibly, clearly a 3D model.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is that? How did they get that? Chicken saw that. Well, fuck it, we're all putting that in the game. You reference that if you want.
Yeah. Or the writer was like, "Yo, imagine I could just do this."
Oh, I was going to say that too. And like Insomniac, what's in a comic, so it doesn't matter.
Aye. Exactly.
That's absolutely fascinating. Oh man. So like spiraling off of that into absolutely nothing related. Well, comics.
Okay.
I've been reading JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Oh my god.
I don't know. I kind of feel incised to talk about
it.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm kind of think I'm wrapping up JoJo Lane. I think it's 110 chapters. I think I'm on like 85.
Right.
I'm kind of right in the middle of what I think is the start of the Wonder of You fight.
Right.
If anybody's listening who gets that. But a lot of people said the Wonder of You fight's very long, and I know for a fact this is like the main boss of the part. Like Wonder of You is when you say the villains of each part, like Dio and that, like Wonder of You and his user are like the main baddies.
Right. Okay.
And I'm a bit like, also these characters have only just been introduced.
Well, that kind of happens sometimes.
It does happen sometimes. A lot of people kind of say it in a bad way. I will say JoJo Lane's flow is very great because there never needs to be a direct like single villain.
Aye.
Up until I guess now, it's never been the purpose. Now they're at the point where they're a bit like, right, we are being opposed by one force. They actually specifically go, there were 4 people opposing us and we've killed 3 of them. So this last guy is like, he knows where the thing we're looking for is, and like he is like the last enemy. And he's probably the head of this because he's like the head doctor. That's his front. They're using like a hospital as a front.
Right.
Like he's the head doctor. We don't even know what his face looks like. He's probably the boss.
Right.
It's not like Dio who's like, I am the baddie. And I'm going to send peons.
Yeah, aye.
It kind of feels like the baddies of part of JoJo Lane Part 8 are like this organisation. Like every time you fight a person, you know they're part of this grander organisation.
Yeah.
So everyone contributes in their own way. I don't really know what I wanted to say about it. I just wanted to bring it up. because I've been feeling the vibe. It's good. It's fun. I think I do really like it.
It's not their favourite though.
No, I'm my favourite
Steel
still.
Ball Run.
No, Diamonds Unbreakable, then Stone Ocean, then depending on how Jojo Lane lands, either Steel Ball Run or Jojo Lane.
Okay.
If Jojo Lane lands in a way I'm happy enough with, it'll be Jojo Lane. If not, Steel Ball Run.
Right.
I famously I love Steel Ball Run, but I just didn't like it as much as other people.
Right.
Some people will tell you, man, the Mandan fight's great, and I'm like, I kind of get bored of it.
Damn.
Like, Gyro does say a lot
of
cool emotional dialogue, but I just don't get it, and I don't care.
Damn.
Like, the chocolate disco fight is bizarre that they need to get Gyro out the way for 2 minutes, so there's literally 2 chapters where he fights a guy called fucking DISCO, and he uses his stand chocolate disco. Like, that, in fact, that whole arc is a nightmare, because the Who Killed Johnny Joestar arc is that's also not a spoiler. He's not dead. That's just the name of the arc.
Okay.
It's the start of D4C, and it just it introduces D4C's powers in the most confusing and bizarre way. And they just have to later on come back and go, actually, this is how it works.
Yeah.
I'm like, why did you start by being nonsense then?
God's sake.
Anyway, people might not want to hear. Steel Ball Run critique, that might get me in some hot water.
Damn, I get what actually.
I just, I'm fascinated by the sort of the ebb and flow, like
of the JoJo's.
Well, of JoJo's in general. I mean, we're on JoJo Lands right now is kind of fun. It's fun to be reading this as it comes out and understanding like we're already at the third sort of major event. We've had we're in chapter 13. We've already had 2 or 3 chapters based on the robbery, then 2 chapters battling Cat's Eyes, then 2 or 3 kind of a waffle chapter that leads into the Charming Man fight, and now we're just moving on to the next thing. We just had chapter 13, I think might have been the newest one, was a flashback chapter, so we got a bit of backstory, and it's kind of getting a lot of flack and also a lot of love for being kind of the most controversial JoJo's chapter in a way.
Oh my.
So JoJo's always
what
occasionally depicts kind of rough things.
Right.
Sexual assault and racism and just a lot of discriminatory stuff. JoJo's, there's a lot of some manga and anime really have this streak of being really fun to look at in terms of how they represent minorities.
Because from Japan.
Yeah, because of how Japan does it. One Piece is another good example. One Piece is kind of weird in that they will kind of physically mock them.
Right.
To be look how weird this gay guy looks, and then that gay guy will do the most noble thing ever. He'll be absolutely critical to things, and you kind of leave it going thank fuck that guy was here.
Yeah.
If that gay person wasn't here, and he wears a cape that says gay in Japanese on it.
Right.
And again, he comes back and he hugs Luffy, and we're I'm talking about Bon Clay. If you watch One Piece, you know fucking Bon Clay is the biggest G. There's an entire race of people called the Nukamas who are ostensibly just drag queen men. They're kind of weird. They kind of have really squat proportions, but they're very big.
Right.
And they are have very male markers, big buff and beard hair, but they're also wearing wigs. They're almost like a bad stereotype of a drag queen. Again, some of the most upright and noble people in the entire franchise. Their leader is an absolute hero, an icon, a revolutionary icon, Emporio Ivankov. He keeps showing up in backstories, just does the most cool shit ever, is the most Chad, crushes the most puss. His power can just change your gender. His devil fruit, I think, gives him control over hormones, so he can just be estrogen. And you're just are a woman. He heals as well. I think he can control your hormones to heal, but he can also just testosterone. It's great. That's what I'm saying. JoJo's is like that.
Right.
There's people refer to a bit in Stone Ocean where there's a trans person at the women's prison.
Right.
And they kind of go that's a guy there, and they're no, actually they're not trans and they identify, and we're going to treat them equally. And that's just it. They don't that person is a secret stand user who comes back.
Aye.
And stuff like that, doesn't use their stand. The dude looks like a lady. You know what I mean?
That'd be good to be fair.
There's a funny joke about that. There's Naranchan Part 5 is there's a lot of feminine looking men, and the Iraqi is fuck it. I'm a big into fashion. Men will look like women will look like men.
Aye.
People will just look androgynous, whatever.
I have David Bowie in the manga.
Literally. So ostensibly Naranchan Part 5 is it looks like a woman, I'd say. They have a lot of feminine features, but it's just distinctly a man, and there's no commentary. It's just whatever, that's just how it looks. The only sort of thing that people I think have pointed kind of silly is that Narancia's stand is Aerosmith,
right?
Which I it's plain. I don't know if there's a direct reference, but obviously a lot of people have said maybe the reference is because Aerosmith dude looks like a lady.
Yeah.
But again, Araki doesn't really comment on it too much. He has moments, and some people think that he does gratuitously use sexual assault,
right?
And he does kind of bring it up a couple of times.
Sometimes there is a laptop in.
Yeah, there's Babyface is a whole thing.
Right.
What's going on there? But then a lot of people that is viewed as objectively evil.
Right.
Maloney is not viewed in a good way. He's just a baddie and he does bad things. Because the problem is a lot of manga and anime, and I'm sure media in general, but they're very big on I'm just going to do that one thing to very clearly show morality. Killing dogs. Araki loves fucking killing dogs, bro. Man. Because when that guy kills a dog, you just know he's objectively evil.
Aye.
That's
just can't
just
come back for that.
Like Yellow Temperance, Death 13, Dio. Like,
right.
Dio is one fucking first major act. Is like
Chad Dio.
Fucking kicking a dog and then putting it in a furnace. And you're like, alright, he's a baddie.
Aye. You know now.
So that's, there's been levels where I'm like, I don't know, it can be a bit gratuitous, but it depends. Some stuff in Steel Ball Run is a bit odd.
Right.
Like, there's like a...
Horse violence.
The main female character in that is like a distinct minor.
Right.
She's like, I think 14.
Okay.
And like, there's just there's this one cowboy who's like, I'm a good guy. By the way, I'm in love with you. I know you're a child, but I want to marry you because you're like so amazing. You're so beautiful of soul. You know, that's a bit weird. And like, she's married to a guy, but they make a big deal out of how like she's married to him for a very specific reason, and they don't have sex or anything.
Right.
But it's
Green
not like,
card.
why are they still married? It's odd. I don't know if he was trying to make a point there. In this new chapter in JoJo Lands, now Araki's made the step to having Dragona, one of the protagonists,
right,
kind of, I think, just is trans.
Right.
Like, from the first chapter, Dragona's like, Dragona does a lot of feminine things, cares about the body, does moisturising, it's very visibly female. And I'm not talking like the Narancha sense. Narancha's like, has long hair and sort of like scrawny and is sort of base effeminate. It's like sort of nicer lashes. Dragona's like big tits, big ass, like fucking like fleeked eyebrows, like constantly, the way she talks and walks and moves. I say she though. The problem is they have never really hammered down the pronouns because Japanese is weird like that.
Aye.
And the problem is a lot of times our pronouns are used up until now are not from herself. They're kind of like people talking about her. Right. I say her because it just feels most natural, because the most recent chapter seems to be a bit like, no, she actually is trans and I'm going to be talking about trans people. Right. She gets like pure sexually assaulted on a bus, and like they talk about like how she looks and like how she's like, oh, you're supposed to be a guy and you don't have like, you have like all these feminine features, and it's very like visceral. Right. It's very much like, not like, oh, JoJo's are fighting like a silly guy. Like, this is like bad. I also exposed Jodio, the other main guy. Jodio is like a psychopath. Right. Literally, one of the first chapters, like, I went to doctors, they diagnosed me as a psychopath. I don't feel things.
He's the lead.
So when he finds out Dragona was getting like bullied and sexually harassed, he like locks everybody in a bus. This is when the story is how they found their stands out. Right. So Jodio like manifests his rage to like using a stand, which is November Rain by Guns N' Roses, which it just rains. I know it sounds weird. It's just, it stands above things and it rains, but the rain,
hard rain.
You can wait the water.
Yeah.
So like when he first manifests it, when he stops the person bullying Dragona and it like pierces her fucking eyelid with a raindrop. Yeah. Then he uses the rain to like specifically rain through the bus's roof. Yeah. Because he can sort of like control where the rain starts as well within that radius. Right. Like lock the door of the bus. Aye. And like puncture like the gas pit and burn, like set the bus on fire. Like lock all the kids in and fucking burn everybody in the bus. Aye. Driver, all the kids, even the one who said stop, like who's kind of on Dragona's side, all of them. Aye. He only stops because he sees a bird is in there and he's like, I don't want to hurt the bird.
Damn, bro. Don't hurt the sparrow.
And it's all very visceral compared to like we're off the last chapter, the last couple of chapters where we're like, I mean they go in and out, you know what JoJo's is like. But I'm really, that's another thing. I'm fascinated about the ebb and flow of that as well. Like I was thinking more about how JoJo because I've been reading that, and that has. As I say, that's not like a main villain. It just is like events keep happening and we keep sort of reacting to them. And now they're using this like fruit is being grown as like the main catalyst of like we need to get it before it's grown. Right. So you're constantly reminded of the timer. To be fair, you've now made me think about like JoJo Lands has been like very like interesting. Like things feel like they're moving past, but then they distinctly stop to like review the situation. But I need to read more JoJo's.
Man's becoming like some sort of sequential storyteller.
Yeah,
he's trying to tell an overall story.
He makes points, and he always kind of does in certain things. Right. I feel like JoJo Land so far has been very much like, there might be a theme here. Right. JoJo, I don't actually know what the theme is, if there is a theme. He always does try and say something at the end of the day about like he's always said he's inspired by like the like humanity's like plight and humanity's like the more like the gold. What was it he said? He's very he wanted a very beautiful way. I think it was a bit like the people as like, you know, striving for good and the sort of like striving for like the golden heart and nobility. Right. And like, you know, the best of humanity fighting for a better future versus abject evil. You know, like Dio, like Pucci, like Kira. Aye. So a lot of them kind of waffle on that, and then they waffle on their own internal story, which got up to about Stone Ocean, and it just sort of ends, and they're like, when we start in the universe. Since then, it's been a bit like it's the same stuff. Strong heart. Right. All that, but they seem to focus on a main point. Each of the most recent 3 parts, like the new universe parts, have started with a statement. Right. So, Steel Run was, this is the story of how I learned to walk again, which was Johnny, who's paralysed. Right. I mean, by the end of the story, he learns how to walk again. JoJolian was, this is a story about breaking a curse. Right. Which is like, there's this kind of underlying theme of JoJolian about how like there's this cursed family. Right. And some of the people are trying to get the MacGuffin because they want to break the curse. So I imagine the curse will be broken at the end, but like, what's the cost of that? And then Jojo Land started with, this is a story of a boy becoming filthy rich in the islands, which is a bit longer. But the whole, these guys are all criminals. Like the goodies as Jojo Lands are like, they steal and they do like nice crimes, like Robin Hood. Although a lot of people are like, this is a story of a boy. So like one single boy, even though we've got a group of 5 now.
Right. So who's
like,
getting rich?
How's that gonna end up?
Who's the one that's rich?
There's also a bit of like fucky because in the new universe they do these references to the old universe.
Right, yeah.
So like Steelball runs Johnny Joestar. This isn't really a spoiler, but it gets revealed Johnny, short for Jonathan Joestar.
Right.
He has a pet rat called Danny. He has a complex relationship with his dad. Bro. He has a troubling interaction with Diego Brando, although he goes by the nickname Dio Brando.
It's part 1.
It's just part
We're
1.
Back.
Joe Jolene is kind of more part 4 because it's literally Josuke Gashikata and Morio. Like I think a lot of people pointed out that like it also mirrors, it references part 1, but Steelball runs more about part 3.
Right.
Like the world's in that,
Aye.
and there's sort of like a transcontinental race. There's like Abdols in it, although not really. There's sort of more references.
Aye.
Part 8 is just part 4. Like Yoshikage Akira and Killer Queen's in it. Josuke's in it. We're like fucking like we're in Morio. There's names that keep coming up. There's like a Nijimura, or I remember Okiyasu. There's a Hiros, or I remember like Koichi. Although it's not kind of aligning in the same sort of sense.
Right.
Stands and character themes are reappearing, but like for example, this is more a spoiler, I guess. Sorry, but the Kira and Killer Queen that appear in part 8 are actually goodies. Technically, they're not baddies. They're actually the objective good.
Right.
As it goes to part 4, where he's the objective bad. So when we get to part 8, where it's like, right, we're going to start saying the main protagonist is called Joe Dio. This should be the part 5 relation. So, and these are criminals. The guys in part 5 are criminals.
Aye.
Like, is Jojo going to be the journal? Is he not? One of the guys in the group called Usagi, Aloha Oi.
Right.
His stand is the Mata Kudasai.
Okay.
The Mata Kudasai is by the band King Crimson.
Right.
The main villain of part 5 stand was King Crimson. So people are a bit like, what's that mean? Like, what are we thinking about here?
Okay.
What's going on?
I think man's doing this deliberately.
Well, he has to be. I mean, he's made some things.
Nah, but it's like a red herring.
Other than like to throw us off. Like,
Aye,
well, I mean, kind of like Kira. Like, maybe, like, yeah, this King Crimson's actually a good guy. Fuck it.
Yeah.
The way the world appears in Steel Ball Run is actually more obtuse because it is just the world.
Right.
And it's like through like D4C, like alternate reality shit. Like Diego, like the original universe Diego, his stand isn't the world. He doesn't actually have a stand at the start until he basically uses Jesus Christ's corpse eyeball to sort of absorb another guy's stand.
Right.
This guy called Dr. Ferdinand, which we believe is a reference to the band Franz Ferdinand.
Fair.
His stand, Scary Monsters.
Right.
Which is the David Bowie song. I love knowing. I love my references. I love when you just throw it out. It's like this guy uses his ability. Well, bro, the stands in fucking part 8 get so weirdly named. Diego steals to that stand. There's another Diego who has the world just from another universe. It's like, what does that mean? Some of the references in Jojo Lane are ludicrous. I just so I had the Doctor Wu fight. I had the Ozone Baby fight. That is the one that our mutual friend Kelly-Anna was talking about. The stand is the Lego architecture White House set.
Right.
That is like the stand.
Aye.
But you have to have that for the stand to like come out. So you bury that and the stand comes out. The actual stand itself's a creepy wee baby thing.
Right.
But like it's centered on this Lego White House for no reason.
Insane.
Before that we had the brainstorm fight, and they're introducing rock insects and rock animals. The rock people are the main baddies. The rock humans, sorry. And the insects and the dogs have like nonsense name music references.
Right.
So Urban Gorilla, who used to stand brainstorm, but he was also had this caterpillar thing that was a rock animal called Do Re Mi Fa Sol La Ti Do. And I know for a fact that during the Wonder of You fight, there's 2 more rock insects that pop up.
Right.
Obla Di Obla Da,
right.
like by the Beatles, but like obviously to say that. And then the other ones are, I think it's Do 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 Da Da Da, or like Do 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 Da Da.
Right.
I can't remember. It's like nonsense words.
Yeah.
But then that's coming off of like, the first rock human they fight stand is I Am a Rock by Simon and Garfunkel. And the character in the actual inside the story literally says, I am a rock, I am an island. Which is a bit like, why did you just sing the song?
I am a rock.
And like at one point the main villain listens to the song Wonder of You.
Right.
So I don't know if he's like named, like he's like, I really like Elvis, I'm just going to name my stand after that. Sometimes folk just say it. In that Jojo Land's one where they get their, Dragona and Jojo get their stands, Dragona kind of names them. She's like, hey, I know you sort of tried to burn the bus for me, I love you. Like, don't do that because I'm afraid for you, but also thank you. It was actually felt good for me. Your stand will be called November Rain, and my stand will be called Smooth Operators.
Right.
She uses her stand because Smooth Operators pushes stuff. but like it can push like concepts as well. Oh, not concepts, we're not quite there yet. That's soft and wet. Like for example, like Drago has like a cut in her hand. Smooth operators can push the cut off the hand, and she pushes it on like a bottle, and the bottle like blows up because it's now got like a fucking gash in it. It's now off her hand. She's healed.
Right.
She actually gets attacked by Charming Man and like slit in the throat. So like we thought she was gonna die for a sec because like things were being too nice, and she just uses smooth operators to move the slash off. But she also like she forges a driver's license by having smooth operators like move the numbers a bit to look like a different number.
Right.
And those kind of make sense. November Rain is like, oh well, it's Rain is the stand, and that's a song with rain in it, I guess.
Duh.
I've always wondered that. Some characters really do just like, this is my stand. I've decided to call it this.
Guy is insane, man.
Like Ozone Baby makes sense because that's a stand about pressure. I don't know why Urban Gorilla felt the need to have a nickname that was a reference on itself and then name a stand Brainstorm.
Right.
Because the stand is like a virus. I guess it is like it gets inside and fucks with your brain, or like, I don't know.
Okay.
There's these two guys called the Aphex twins in the early part. Aphex the older and Aphex the younger, and their stands are Shock Key number 1 and Shock Key number 2. And I think Araki just named them that because he wanted a pair of twins, and he found a song that was like a 2-part song or something that was number 1 and number 2, and he's like, I'll just make like a pair of twins. They don't talk, and their stands and stand names are wild. One of them can touch something with his right hand, and it'll come through his left.
Right.
So if he like puts his hand on like metal, it can like shoot metal through his hand.
Yeah.
The other one has a football with him that he's constantly kicking about, but it unzips to have poison in it. That's just it. The fight is like insane. 2 chapters long actually. The Aphex twins keep getting references like, oh, we had to fight like, oh, you had to fight like Yagiyama, and we had to fight like Aisho, and the Aphex twins. I'm like, bro, the Aphex twins appeared for 2 seconds and had the most bizarrely nonsense nothing stands.
Insane. Genuinely mad.
They do use it in a creative way because at one point the Aphex puts his hand in
the ball
and shoots poison at his other hand. I'm like, that makes sense. Although I think they kind of end up throwing the poison back at him, and that hurts him because it's still poison. I think he can manifest his hand because he's stand, but otherwise he gets like poison in his mouth. He's like, oh fuck, I'm poisoned. And it's like, oh okay, like nice work.
Damn man.
That's just soft and wet. Soft and wet's like the coolest fucking stand. I'm just rambling here, sorry. I'll wrap it up because I just wanted to ramble about how I'm enjoying JoJo's.
Man, just JoJoing real quick.
Soft and wet's amazing because like it just moves things and it plunders. People describe it as a plundering ability. Early on in the part, they use it to move concepts. Soft and wet has these bubbles, and when your bubbles, you can take stuff with the bubbles. And also the part they use it like very literally, like, oh, move that thing over here, catch this, throw this in the bubbles. But they also like move sounds, and then early in the part they do stuff like one of the first things that ever happens with Soft and Wet is he uses his bubble to take friction. Right. So he makes a floor very slidey because he removes the concept of friction from it. Right. And I think he can put like that in something else. He can give something more friction. Right. And it's just really cool like that. And I know it gets like a power up right at the end called Go Beyond. And I don't know what that is, but I think it's like if you play with the idea of like, because a couple of stands in this part do sort of have this idea of you can really push what we can do. Right. So if you take the idea of taking things, of concepts, can like Soft and Wet move emotions? Can it move memories? Yeah. There's like a stand called Paper Moon King, which is like its ability just makes you see every face as the same face. Right. But they kind of press it more and more to be like, well, technically it can warp your visuals to mistake things for other things. So at one point they use it to like trick someone into thinking they've picked something up when they've picked a different thing up. Right. Because you pushed Paper Moon King to be like, well, it's warping your perspective of like your visual reality at that point. The Paisley Park as well, that is like a stand that kind of gets introduced in a weird way, but it ends up just being like I can just go into computers and shit. Right. I really am enjoying it. The ebb and flow of the weird like no villain up to like we're all in a rush for the MacGuffin type of thing. I thought I would hate more, but I just don't. Damn. So I'm just in it. I just wanted to gush about JoJo's. I don't know if we'll ever do a full episode about it. I don't know, man. I've got a lot to catch up. You would need to catch up a bit. I feel like other than like we flirted about with the idea of doing like an explain it to me. Yeah. And if we did an episode, I think it would just be me beat by beat going through what happens, which I would love to do because I've got autism and I love just saying shit and explaining shit. Just explaining. But that's like if you can find the mental power for that. If I could sit here and have JoJo's explain to me. If you had that ability on you. I think you do. Maybe not right now, but like I think potentially one day. You've had times where you just let me talk. I mean that time we were at the pub and I just told you like what happened in One Piece and you were just like, man, really? Literally. What then? Oh man, and then that came back. Yes. I love you for that reason. I love like I can just talk. The listeners probably won't enjoy this and they'll be like, he's just fucking spoke with JoJo's for like 3 hours. That's fine. I will say I was also going to ask, and maybe it's a bit late to ask, but have you been like up to any anime or manga? Because we don't talk anime or manga. Go in and out about how we talk about it. We're big on comics, really, but you know, there's like I would like to like get back to Demon Slayer one day and finish it. I know you've been in on that. I would like to finish Attack on Titan, or like you should probably go back and like watch the whole thing. Definitely Attack on Titan on the list. Not a whole lot. I did
there was a bit. Was it this year? I think I started Boruto at some point.
Oh, okay.
I was like, you know what?
I don't like bad.
I don't even know. I don't know if
You're
it's
not
bad.
fan
I've not got there yet. I'd like to do that. I'd like to watch Naruto. Bro, there's a lot.
There is a lot.
There's so much. Too much.
That's the thing. You know, today was like a wee ramble because there's a lot going on around us and there's not so much to pull strands on. Things are coming out. Things are being cancelled.
True. Things
we need to get through. I have to watch Shogun. You actually want to watch Shogun as well. We want to watch Shogun.
Yes.
X-Men X7 still ongoing. Bad Batch's final season still ongoing.
Yep. It'll be finished soon.
June we're going to get rammed. We'll have plenty to talk about in June, I think.
True. There's so much.
Fucking House of the Dragon, Acolyte, The Boys, The Bear. I made a fucking Fallout reference. I was listening to one of our episodes where we mentioned that stuff is coming out in June. And he said like The Boys and The Bear. Yeah. And I'm like The Bear and the Bull. Like the Ulysses to Lonesome Road. He's not in the Fallout series, I guarantee.
That you know of?
Man, see if they fucking dropped some shit like that, like such a fucking very specific reference, I would piss myself.
Bro,
I would be so happy.
Joshua Graham is there.
Joshua Graham, bro, fully bandaged. We don't know when it takes place. We don't know what time period it takes place in.
Well, we need to find that out.
I think it has to be like to be like post the original games at least, because the Brotherhood are like out and about with like fucking airships.
Aye.
Like that's Fallout 4 level, but like I mean, you could just say, the Brotherhood all the way over here had like airships for a while. Don't worry about it.
Maybe.
But like yeah, like is Shady Sands still there as like an NCR thing of the NCR? But the NCR are in it, so it has to be like at that point, and that's like post Fallout 2. Yeah, the NCR are in Fallout 2, so it has to be around about or post Fallout 2. And imagine the Enclave, that casting I mentioned earlier, they mention it, they say, there's all these factions in the Wasteland, like the Enclave and the New California Republic. Right. We'd like to explore them and like further like stories. So again, they probably want more seasons. But they acknowledge the Enclave, so I don't know if the Enclave will be in it.
Or we'll just like hear of them in their bunker.
They would have to reference it if it's like post Fallout 2, because like if you're in that area, you're like, by the way, like see fucking a couple of years ago, this fucking jobber came out of the vault and blew up a oil rig over there.
And that's where they were.
That was the Enclave. Navarro, like that's here. Like we're at Navarro now, we've got Redbirds. So I'm really excited. That's the takeaway from this episode. I am really excited for the Fallout show.
I'm sure it'll be really good. I'm looking forward to it.
You have anything else?
I finished Jason Aaron's Thor.
Oh man, go on then. We've got a bit of time.
That was really good.
So
it started really good and it ends pretty good.
You said that. And when you started reading it, you told me that it might have been your 2023 book recap.
That was the first half.
Because what is Jason Aaron's Thor? I don't usually do maybe the whole story, but like
starts with God of God Butcher.
Yep.
And it ends with War of the Realms, and then King Thor.
So what was in the middle? What was in the middle that maybe I'm not saying was bad, but dragged?
It was Jane Foster Thor. Not that that's an issue.
I was gonna say,
but it was just not as good as the others.
No, that's true. I mean, the problem is like the 90 Thor compared to like War of the Realms, and especially like the God of the God Butcher. It's like Hydrogen Bomb versus Coffin Baby there.
Like,
I think Jane Foster Thor's quite well written in that art, though. I think.
Jason
Aaron's good.
It's fun read. It's like a 7.
Okay, well that's
but the other two are like a 10.
So
it's like level. Cool. I think I was a bit sick of the War of the Realms being brought up until it actually happened, because in the first volume, when it's Thor, Odin's son Thor, they create it's like the Warriors 3, but it's a bunch of the different races from the realms. Right, so they've got like a dwarf, they've got like an elf, all that shit. Yep. To like fight Malekith.
Okay, yeah.
And they're like, he's going to start a War of the Realms.
He's at the War of the Realms.
That's when it starts, and you don't get it till like half of the second volume.
For fuck's sake.
Which is like, we're actually in the War of the Realms now. And I was like, there's so much build up to it, and it is good. Like, it is fun. They separate Thor. He's like off in fucking Jotunheim.
Okay.
Loki gets eaten by his dad.
Oh.
And there's an issue where he's like in his belly dying.
That sucks, bro.
That's cool. Literally, bro. Literally.
Lord Farquaad.
Yes. What else happens? They take over like different sections of Earth, and there's a cool panel where it's like the World Tree, but it's like Earth, and it's like, this is Malekith here, this is fucking the Jotunheim guys over here, this is like the Fire Suitor's daughter or whatever.
Oh, Suitor's daughter.
Like Queen of Cinders or whatever. They're doing that, and it comes to a head at Stonehenge.
Oh, bro.
Because there's like magics there or something.
I was going to say, ley lines and shit.
And Malekith's like, only Thor may enter this bubble of protection that I've created. And he's got Freya and Odin like ready to die. And then Thor's like, only Thor may enter. So he goes into the future. I think it's Reed goes into the future, gets King Thor.
Oh, yeah.
And then they go back, they get young Thor. And then Jane Foster like turns into Thor again. And you're like, oh man. All the Thors have come in.
Thors, bro. Get the Thor family here.
Aye, that's cool. And it ends there, and then King Thor's...
the hammers.
Literally, bro, so much hammers. Thory's in it. The dog.
Oh my god, I forgot about the dog.
Dog's just like, I want to eat people. I want to murder everything. all the time.
Oh, right.
I'm like, okay.
Didn't know he was about that.
Yeah, he's totally about that. Aye, so that was cool. It ends kind of okay there, and then it goes King Thor, and I'm like, oh, this is the shit I wanted to read.
Yeah.
Because it's like kind of woven in throughout the run.
Yeah, because he keeps popping up. He's in the God Butcher bit, isn't he?
He's in the God Butcher because that's where they beat God eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Is the end where like he's old and shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this is the King Thor. He's like fucking old. He like hates the world. He's like fought every
Old
fight
man
ever.
Thor.
It gets kind of mad. I think it's earlier in the run. He's replanted Earth.
Okay.
Midgard's like a barren wasteland. After he defeats Galactus, he's like, I'll create life again. So he like makes life on Midgard, right? On Earth. And then Galactus fucks off, and he's still fighting, eating worlds. But he tries to eat Ego. Ego fucks him up, bro. And then Ego
would give him indigestion.
because Galactus has still got the Necro Sword. Gore. Ego eats it and then becomes like Ego the Necro World.
That's fucking
right,
tight, bro. Unironically.
Also, I don't know how it happens, but the Phoenix like gets involved with Thor, right?
That fucking character, bro.
And this is where Jason Aaron starts fucking with the Phoenix a wee bit, and it's a wee bit like I'm not sure how I feel about it.
I was gonna say that's your stream's getting crusty a bit there.
Because he's like,
Jason Aaron done X-Men.
No, but he done the old Avengers.
So he did, yeah.
And it was like prehistoric Avengers, and there was like Phoenix and that.
Yes,
doing weird shit.
He seems like just really wants to get involved with it.
Honestly, it has like this weird thing happen where like Thor has like a relationship with Phoenix, like the Force.
I was gonna say Phoenix like in a person.
It's weird, right? It does something with that.
Bro, assuming you're like King Thor and you're a billion years old, just like fucking forces.
Kinda, you just like are a wee bit into that.
Risen up like cosmic deities.
So the Phoenix shows up and it's Wolverine. Which is funny, because it's Wolverine. And he's like, oh,
of course it's fucking
bro,
Wolverine.
How great is this? And Wolverine's like, I can't believe you like made Earth again. I fucking hate you, bro. And then they have a big like punch up.
Why does Wolverine hate him for making Earth again?
Well, because he's like, everyone in the universe is alive now knows it's like a thing again.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, he's gonna find them. And they're like, who the fuck's he? Doom, obviously.
Oh, right.
So Doom's like got all the other powers of the universe.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So he's got like the Herald stuff, he's got like all that power, right, in him. And he's like, I'm coming to Earth, I'm gonna fuck everything up. He's like he's got Fing Fang Foom and like some other monsters like just being his jockeys.
He's just got fucking guys.
Aye, so they just come down and they're like,
the dragon.
What have you done? And then he shows up and he's like, I can't believe you've like built this terrible thing on my like corpse, like fucking wherever it was his face.
Latveria,
I can't believe you've done this to Latveria, my beautiful country. I can't believe you did this. So then,
bro, there was fucking nothing there. Galactus like scorched it.
It's literally just dust, but he's like, oh no.
If he's a herald, is he like doomed it? So like, is he a herald of Galactus, or is he like doomed it? So he's like stole the herald power.
He's got like the surfer power. He's got like that stuff.
The power cosmic.
He's got like he's got all the like the juice.
But because he's Doctor Doom, he just like doesn't even need to like do anything about it.
Apart from like the Odin Force, the Thor Force, and the Phoenix Force. He's just not got them yet. Yeah,
I was gonna say.
Aye, so what happens is they have a big punch up. Thor fight gets Logan to come to his side. They're like, bro, when he will fucking fuck him up. He's gonna kill like my granddaughters. He's gonna kill Earth again. We can't allow this.
Can't let him just do this again.
So they do that. Logan's like, bro, I can't do it. I fought too much. So he dies.
Of course.
Because he had to die.
I was gonna say.
And then the Phoenix goes into Thor, and they fly into a volcano. Thor and like Doom and just have a big fight. But then it's like cut to millennia later.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
And they've created like little things, little tombstones with the Phoenix carved in. And they're like, oh my god, this is like, when you hear the volcano like rumbling, it's like, oh, that's Thor, our god, fighting for our like survival. And then eventually Thor just comes out of the volcano. He's like, I fucking done it, man. Finally beat him. I kicked his ass, bro. I'm like, oh my god, that's nuts.
Bro.
And that's not even, that's in the run.
That's not the end.
You see that like in the middle. So King Thor is what happens at the end when King Thor goes back after beating Malekith in the War of the Realms, right?
Yep.
And what happened after Ego got the Necro Sword or the Necro World, whatever, he became Gore. A little worm is on Ego.
Igor.
A little tiny worm, right? And it's like, oh bro, I bet I could beat you in a fight just by using words. And Ego's like, shut up, bro, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm like the Necro World, I'll destroy you.
This fucking shit I've ever heard.
So he starts like causing like natural disasters on himself, right? And then and the worm's like, fuck you, bro, you shit. And he does it for like so long, millennia again, right? Centuries, whatever. And then eventually Ego's like, oh fuck, bro, I can't do this anymore. You've actually beat me with just words.
Oh,
Turns out the worm, Loki, obviously.
Oh, fucking
so
hell.
Loki becomes like the Necro sword guy. He's got the symbiote, whatever.
Was he just like steal it for Ego? Does Ego like give it up or?
Ego like dies. And he gets
hell.
it.
Jesus.
And then King Thor is like, Loki going to kill Thor.
Right.
Because it's like the final battle of brothers, obviously.
But not the final battle, because seeing a couple of Mermillion is going to fight Doom in a volcano.
Exactly, see. So they do that. Loki comes in. Turns out Gor's no dead. He's like living inside the Necro Sword.
How?
I don't know.
How do you get? How?
Like he's like in it.
Bro,
it's like part of him now. I don't know.
Does Null just like get that? Is he picked up sword? And he's like, dude, there's a bald guy in this.
That's a weird time because Null at this point has actually been canonised now. So
he has.
At the start, Null's not real.
I was going to say, like,
don't know what
God
it is.
Butcher's not. No, aye, that's not. Was the Necro Sword even like symbiote back then?
No, it was just like a thing that looked a bit symbiote. It was a bit fluidy. So they were like, he's not real. And then somewhere in the middle, he like comes into existence in Venom. And now at the end here, they're like, oh, that's the symbiote shit. We can like say it now.
Right. Okay.
So he's not like in it because I don't know. This is so far in the future it wouldn't matter.
Basically,
he might be dead.
Gorb doesn't show up in fucking King in Black.
He doesn't show up there. No. And I don't think they reference it King in Black, but I've only read the main event, so they might reference it like in a tie-in somewhere. Right?
Thor King in Black is like mind in the future when Gor's just in the sword.
But they have a big punch up. Loki's like, oh, do I help Thor? I want to fucking kill him so bad.
But I was going to say, so is Gorr coming out or is Gorr like possessing Loki?
Gorr like is just about like he is the sword. Like, after he just becomes like a being after it.
Right.
And he's like, yo, I'm back to like kill you all.
I do like that the Jason Aaron's book ended by Gorr.
It's beautiful. That's why it's like so good at the end. So they have a punch up. Gor's like goes fucking Super Saiyan Omega.
Mode.
And they start fighting. It's crazy. And how does Thor beat him again? I don't know. He just uses like all the thunder or something like that. He just gods out, bro, right? But it's really good. And
he's godded too hard.
It's kind of like, well, how it's like the ultimate question of it's like, oh, what is a thing's purpose? So it's like, I don't know how they use it. They say like the Thunder's purpose is to like roar, and it ends with like back on Midgard. It's a group of people at a campfire, and they're like telling the stories, and then they hear the thunder and like, oh, what's the story of the thunder? It's like, oh, we're gonna tell you Thor. I was like, that's really cool. And like what Thor's doing at that point is he's literally like in the void, holding back the void, screaming to the thunder. So I'm like, oh man, that's him like protecting them again.
Based.
Which is kind of based. But that's why it ended so high and it starts so good because God of God, which was like actually called. And you should read that and not watch the movie.
I was going to say, what would you say Thor 4 Love and Thunder doesn't quite accurately adapt the heights of God of God Butcher?
It gets absolutely nowhere near it in any way, shape or form. Yeah, so I've done that. That's like pretty good. That's a good start. And one's She-Hulk now.
Oh!
Which is fun.
She-Hulk.
She's been in a state of undress in every issue.
What's She-Hulk?
The John Byrne one.
Okay.
So the sensational one, which is the like first one after the Savage She-Hulk, which is like the old one. That like isn't really hot.
What I've seen.
Aye, but yeah, it's a good man. She's been in a state of undress, as I said, every issue.
She's just like talking to you. She's just like, bro,
a little bit.
Seen this shit.
There's a good one with Spider-Man where it was like they do what they did in the show, where it's like, oh, we're gonna have a big punch up. Then they don't have a big punch up. They just skipped it. Which is funny. I think it's trying to like. It's obviously like a bit poking fun at like the people who should be reading it. So it's like, oh, I'm just here for the young boys or whatever. That's the vibe I'm getting. So I mean, it could be like, why are you drawing with women this way? It could be a bit like that.
It might be satirical.
Aye,
but I don't. All these beautiful breasts and be like, I'm not supposed to enjoy this.
I'm not quite sure how to take it. But
sure, you should be enjoying this. And you're like, aye, but I mean, it's good, isn't it? Like,
it's good. It's funny. Come on, it's like in one of the issues, She-Hulk moves into like a new apartment, and it's like an apartment tour. And one of the wee like boxes is like editor. It's like, oh, this isn't like Millie the fucking model's comic, and it's like that's just an old Marvel comic or an old Fawcett comic. So it's funny. It's kind of referencing that, and the John Byrne and the other boxes like, hold on, the fight's coming. Like, don't worry, there will be an action panel at some point.
See, that's fun. I really, really, really like that. I kind of should maybe read some She-Hulk. I think I'll get a good kick out of it.
I think I'll like this. Will be good. Then like later on, it's like Dan Slott does one.
Oh, Dan Slott's good.
And Dan Slott does one. She's like Laurie.
She's what? Laurie.
Yeah. Then you get Peter David does it, and Peter David's wrote her obviously in like the Hulk run, and I'm a big Peter David head.
I was gonna say,
so I'll probably love that.
She-Hulk,
yeah, but that's where I'm at so far. Ian.
That's cool. That's
then
cool.
Obviously, the X-Men read is coming soon. I will begin it soon.
Wait, what we reading?
We're gonna start from Giant Size 1. And we're going all the way. I've got it now because the Inferno Omnibus finishes, and then the next collection is like 4 issues like between them. So what I done was like, you know what, I'll just buy the 4 issues.
Okay.
And then I'll have a complete run for like Giant Size 1, which is like 94, all the way like to 80, something like that.
Okay.
So we've got a bit there. We can just read.
That's fucking
read it all.
Giant Size X-Men. That's like the top tits, isn't it?
Things.
That's like that's the fire.
That's the fire. I've read a good chunk of it already, but I'm going to reread it with the new knowledge of the book that I'd read.
Oh yeah, I was
going to try and like piece bits of that.
Really would be a really wonderful thing. If I ever going to read X-Men, I need to read that first. I think. Or like old X-Men. I feel like I could probably start reading like like House X, Hulk Box.
I mean, that's one of the best anyway.
I was going to say, that's
I would definitely do that.
thing, innit?
We're going to do that. We'll see where we go. We'll see what the new X-Men are saying in June. We'll be excited.
They're coming back. Watch 97. We're enjoying that.
You should watch 97.
I think we'll talk. We've talked about doing more X-Men type content. I'd like to wait till 97's done first, but
makes sense.
I'm enjoying it.
We
said earlier we're kind of dealing with the limitations of the form because like we did just get one episode of Inferno, which was a bit like Inferno, and I'm like, oh man,
cool.
But I think it's been so much fun, and it really has given me a new love and appreciation for the X-Men. It makes me realise what the key is.
Right.
I feel like maybe now in my current mental and sort of social leaning state, because like when I watched like the old X-Men films, I never really like cared. I was just about like, oh, superhero.
Damn, bro.
Nowadays, when like I'm like a mature adult, so when Magneto's like giving his speech about like, you know, we as minorities we don't even need your acceptance, we just need you to understand we're here and stop trying to hurt us. And I'm like, oh god, these X-Men might be a metaphor for minority issues. I get it now.
Oh my god.
And I loved it for that, and I've always wanted to tiptoe into it, but X-Men Next Time really made it look cool and fun and interesting, and like makes you think. Cyclops is cool again, Graham. How do you feel about that?
Very, very happy with that. I think like a lot of people are like intimidated by it. The X-Men is a concept. Yeah. Like, how would you start reading an X-Men comic?
It's true.
Seems like a foreign concept. So I think having someone like me, not that I'm an expert,
more of an expert than I am,
would be a nice way for you to like engage in it somehow.
I was going to say I would probably go via you. I'd read the book that you read. Just really fascinating for the old stuff. I say Hawksbox is also just like we're in the good era now, so like, that's where I'd like to read. I guess the problem is everything just leads back to the inevitable question of like what they're going to do in the movies though.
Exactly.
We need to see Deadpool. I need to see Deadpool 3.
I'm sure it'll be fire. We've got Professor X's unborn dead sister baby killing everyone, which is going to be fun.
Pyro's in it.
Pog.
The X-Men.
Wolverine's
in it. The X-Men.
There you go.
James Marsden isn't in it. What was the point of the whole venture?
I mean, there you go. He's just not going to be him.
Was it you that said to me that one of the theories is that the Wolverine in this movie is like the Wolverine for like the end of X-Men 3? Like when it's like the new universe where everybody's like happy and normal, and then I saw a bit more like you're right at the end of X3 where he comes out and everyone's like, oh, like Jean's alive and she's normal and fucking Cyclops alive, the Professor's alive, and like fucking Kitty's like with Colossus now, and Iceman's like this, no? Do you not remember right at the end of X-Men 3 The Last Stand?
No.
Bro.
Jean dead?
Aye, but he fucking shoots out of the universe, mind? Or no?
Aye, that's a different thing, man.
I'm fucking thinking the Days of Future Past.
Aye, and they're like, right, aye. It might be that.
Aye.
Could be.
I'd like that, because I think that'd be an easy intro to like a more jovial, like, a Wolverine who would be wearing like the yellow spandex but played by Hugh Jackman.
Right.
If you told me that was that universe instead of like literally the original X-Men where
although
like, it
could be Logan before Logan.
It could be,
and because the comics there are like, oh, this is the comics of our adventures.
It's true.
And he could be wearing the yellow there. I don't know.
Oh, sorry, I was just realized you did bring up Cassandra Nova. That's a weird one, but like interesting because she's like a deal. Do you get any experience with her?
I don't, because I've not read Morrison's X-Men.
Is he like just that mostly Morrison's type?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And she's like, yo, I think Professor X killed her in the womb.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Wild shit, man.
Fucking
insane.
I love that. That's just some of the shit
that happens.
Bro, there was a Mojo episode of X-Men 97 today, and I'm like, what the fuck is Mojo?
Bro, I don't know.
Who even is like Shatterstar? Like,
bro, fucking Shatterstar?
Or what's his? No, Shatterstar I think is Mojo, or is an alien. Who's the one with Longshot?
Longshot?
Who even has Longshot?
The Longshot? Who fucking knows, man?
Oh,
he looks cool. Him and Dazzler are like besties.
Is Dazzler like a Mojo person?
I don't think so. But like
I need to see in the older I can't say X-Men 97 and just refer to the original 1997 X-Men because it's a show now. So like the original 1997 X-Men, I need to check who was like in the Mojo episodes. I think Dazzler's maybe in and about that, but I don't know if she's like a Mojo person.
Aye,
but it's still like the X-Men do just do shit like that. Like the original Inferno just been like, by the way, this fucking lassie just went to hell and just like found a demon and she was actually a queen of the goblins. Bro, how's that? That's not a mutant factor. That's just a lassie in hell with demons.
Mutant factor, bro. That's what we've done. And then they come to like New York and they're like, oh, we're going to turn like this fucking lunchbox into a demon.
I guess you know what it is. Every time you do something in an X-Men thing that isn't like a guy with mutant powers who's like also a mutant, or like the humans are being bigots again, I kind of just have a bit like, that seems weird to me. Like if you told me the X-Men's fight demons for hell, I'm like, they don't have mutant powers, they're just demons for hell.
But like the X-Men in space fighting the alien race, the Brood, is normal.
Like, no, that stuff also sends me like everything with little Andra and the Shi'ar. I'm like, what's going on here?
What are we doing?
Like they're just guys. Like Gladiator's just a big guy.
Bro, he is, and he's just like Mohawk.
Big fucking guy for space. Xavier's like, bro, I'm a mutant and I care about my folk on Earth. By the way, I'm banging a bird lassie in space.
Like,
don't worry about it.
She's kind of hot, damn.
She do be kind of hot though. Bro, that's what Xavier's doing in it right now. His ass is alive and he's just in space banging Lalandra, I bet you.
Fucking could be, by the way.
I bet he is. I feel like he just has to be brought back. They'll probably give us, like, I don't know, maybe season 3. They'll give us like 2 seasons of Magneto leading it, and then X will come back and I'm like, man, how does like that? How do we do with this conundrum?
Ooh.
Oh man. Right, well, I think that might be us.
Sure.
If you
Aye.
Let's get anything else. I've not got anything else.
I think so.
Technically, I'm on, for the listeners, I'm on a bit of a time limit, so I do need to go soon.
Fair.
Don't want to throw Graham out. We like talking. We never really. We would have been fine if we kept talking, but obviously I'm not going to artificially prolong it.
Yeah, that's fine.
But yeah,
solid.
Could be fun chats. Well, obviously, we'll have more to talk about at a later date. You'll get this at some point. It's a wee fun one, but you know, like we said, we've got a lot more coming up.
Yes.
I think once Fallout's out, we might talk about Fallout.
I think we should.
I think that's the next.
That makes sense.
We'll get Joker trailer soon.
Joker.
We'd
Lady Gaga is going to say things.
Lady Gaga is talking in just her normal voice.
Oh my.
It's literally like, man, Chris Pratt's doing the Mario voice. It's just what Chris Pratt sounds like, basically.
Bro.
With like Italian accent. Lady Gaga's like, man, don't forget, you're Joker. I don't like it being said like that.
Oh.
Like, where's the the? You're the Joker. No, you're Joker.
The
I have become Joker.
Let's go.
I
joke.
I'm going Joker.
I'm going Joker. Super Joker.
I'm joking. Super Joker.
Joking.
He's joking.
Joker.
And the Joker, maybe. That's a very specific reference. Right, well, thanks for joining us.
Yes, thank you guys.
Thank you, Graham.
Thank you, Ewan.
And we will talk to you in the next one.
Yes, get your ears ready.
I gotta get your ears ready. Get them wetted.
Oh.
Wet your ears. Get your ears around this. That's what we introduced it with.
Oh my.
Get your ears around this, Graham.
Get ready.
Wet your ears.
Get
We're
stuck
talking
in.
about fucking Wes Anderson. Oh, and it's like one of those like dramatic like radio stations, like 102.5. Woo!
Yeah.
Coming at you with the classics you love.
Somebody stole my alligator.
This ain't your grandma's station. And it's me going like, so the day I'd like to talk about Grand Budapest Hotel.
Yes.
Alright. See you later, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Scenes is a fan-created podcast. We have no affiliation with any of the brand studios or properties mentioned. All views are our own.
Produced and edited by my partner, Rebecca. Music is provided by Epidemic Sound, and the cover artwork was commissioned by Rhiannon Kagoe on Twitter or Instagram.
Doop 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 doop.